What's up, y'all? Welcome to Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai.
It's about to be a show.
Is it about to be a show?
It's about to be a show.
Well, we
Approve?
Yeah. Oh, hell
Thank
yeah.
you.
Matter of fact, I'm going to be humble and say I look good, too. Let's get this thing started, right? My Clippers, you know, who blew the roof off the bubble last night with a 43-point blowout win against the Mavericks. Paul George bounced back from his shooting slump with 35 points, but one of the biggest moments happened in the third quarter when Marcus Morris appeared to step on Luka Doncic's already injured ankle on purpose. My man Acho, one of the first people to call Morris out on Twitter. Well, Morris responded to Acho tweeting this smoke. You don't know me, fam. To even think I would go that far to hurt a player's out of pocket. I play this game because I love it. 10 years. 10 years and been going against the best since day one. Stop all that BS, champ. He wasn't talking to you. So, Acho, what was your biggest takeaway from my Clippers blowing them out last night?
Man, what do they say? They say make sure your praise is as loud as your hate.
Okay.
So, Paul George.
Boom, boom. Paul George.
My biggest takeaway was this. Doc Rivers was in his bag. Let's talk about the first play of the game. First offensive possession for the Clippers. They feed Paul George. Paul George, he's going to get a bucket. What did Doc say? I want to make sure Paul George is in his bag. Okay, but now he didn't just give that up. First play of the second half, again, screen to Paul George to the basket, easy bucket. So my biggest takeaway, Doc Rivers, he was in his bag doing what he needed to do to feed Paul George. And Paul George, 35 points in under 25 minutes. First player in the shot clock era to accomplish that. So, Marcellus, if I'm going to critique the man, I also have to be intelligent enough to give praise where praise is due. So, PG, you did your thing. It was good to see Playoff P back. But let me get to the real takeaway.
Right now?
Let me get to the real.
Oh, really? Because I was saying all that was just fluff, trying to keep your job.
That wasn't fluff.
Trying to keep your job.
I get
you want
praise where it's
credibility?
due. Let me get to the real takeaway.
Go into the notes for real.
Yo, Clippers, sir, they're starting to look a little suspect. They're starting to look a little bit, dare I say, dirty. Now, Marcus Morris, I respect you tweeting at me because I always like, hey, a player, give me your opinion before I go offer my own. Give me your take.
But you offered yours before he gave you yours.
Nah, I didn't. I said coincidence. Y'all tell me.
Oh, boy, stop.
Y'all tell me.
That's what I said.
That's what I said.
Don't try to throw rocks in hot hands. Look. Boy, stop.
I don't know. Like you said, Marcellus tweeted at me, ladies and gentlemen, and Marcellus said, you can tell intention by a tweet or by a video.
By a video?
I can't. I couldn't tell intention.
Okay, good,
but here's what I know, Marcellus. An NBA basketball court is 4,700 square feet.
That's a nice house.
That's 4,700.
Right
it is 4,700 square feet. Marcellus, the odds that 2 feet wind up in the same place at the same time, 1 in 22 million. The odds that Marcus Morris' foot winds up on Luka's foot is 1 in 22 million. Marcus Morris, I don't know your intention, and I'm not going to sit here and say that you did it intentionally. But what I'm going to say is, in 22 million times, it would take one time for that to happen, and it just so happened that that was the one time on the one ankle that we all knew was hurt. So, Marcellus, you do the math, sir. You went to Columbia.
Trying.
You a smart man.
I ain't got
you tell me. But those were my biggest takeaways.
Okay. Well, damn, 1 in 22 million.
22 million.
Man, and you're looking at guys that of 7 billion people in the world, there's only 450 of them in this world. So it looks like your odds of 1 in 22 million and the odds of him being in the NBA sound kind of the same, if not worse, in terms of stepping on someone's foot. But I'm not even going to go down that road first. First thing I'm going to do is say, somebody shot 63% last night. That squad. That is going to get it done. Thank you, Doc Rivers, for being a coach, a champion coach. Well, there are only 6 active coaches that have actual championships. When you're a champion coach, you look at your players and you say, you know what, I'm not going to ride the wave with y'all. I'm going to leave that to people on Twitter like Acho. I'm going to leave that to fans out there that are going to go high and then going to go low. I'm going to keep it even keel. Paul George, we invested in you. Paul George, we believe in you. Paul George, like you showed, first play is for you. Paul George, this game is for you. You go out there and show them what you got because we already know. Another thing that showed me that this Clipper squad has a higher ceiling than any other team existing, and when they're fully activated, fully motivated, it's going to be a problem, is the fact that the Lakers in their series took a punch. First game, bow! Portland came out and said, we ain't just a playing team. And then the Lakers said, okay, I'll meet you at the school flag and we're going to whoop that in. Okay, the Clippers are a little different. They said, Kimbo Slice style, rest in peace. Hit me, bow. Hit me again, bow. Now here comes the pain. And that's what the Clippers are doing. Completely different mindsets and completely different levels in terms of game, in terms of confidence. So when the Clippers play like that, fully motivated, bro, sorry, it's going to be easy.
See, I understand where you're going, Marcellus, but when it's talking about takeaways, I didn't really take that away from the game. Oh. You see, what I took away from the game was, okay, Doc Rivers, thank you for out-coaching Rick Carlisle. Took you long enough.
Finally.
Finally. Right? That's honestly, that was my first takeaway. But then my other takeaway was, man, it's really hard to root for the Clippers. Like, Marcellus is a really good guy. He's a genuinely sitting across from you these last couple of months. I said, man, Marcellus is a great guy. I wonder if Marcellus has some inner turmoil rooting for a team that's so hard to root for. You know, couple games back, you got Montrez, blank, blank, white boy, talking about Luka. And then this past game, you got Marcus Morris intentionally going after your superstar player. I'm like, golly, this team is hard to root for. Marcellus, you taught me something. You said all players are not treated equally. So people are wondering, why is there an outcry about Marcus Morris? It's a basketball game. Maybe it's a game type of play. Nah, that's not how it works, because you gotta esteem your superstars a little differently. Marcellus, when we play in football, they always say, stay off the
quarterback.
Stay off the quarterback.
Yeah.
You're not
One-way
supposed
ticket out.
to hit the quarterback.
One-way ticket out.
Because the quarterback, the most valuable player.
Except in New York. We'll get to that later.
When I was playing in college, we had our superstar defensive end, Brian Arakpo, 6'5" All-Pro, Pro Bowler for the Tennessee Titans. He hits our all-time winningest quarterback in college football history, Colt McCoy. Didn't nobody say nothing to Arakpo because he was a superstar. Now let me hit the quarterback, I'm getting thrown out of practice. You see, you have to esteem and reverence and protect your superstars. So the other thing I took away was, Marcellus, I don't know how you, sir, such a good man, a leading father, an esteemed member of the community, can root for a team, sir, that you got your potential six-man candidates saying blank, blank, white boy, right? Making these racial slurs. And then you have Marcus Morris sitting here attempting to re-injure a player, a superstar that's already injured. I don't know, sir, how you can sleep at night, in all honesty, rooting for that kind of team. That's just my opinion.
Well, the early eulogy is not going to stop me from killing you. And I know you're trying to kill me, but I'm going to have to put you in your own coffin. It's amazing that you take a clip early, give you your props. You did that. You showed the clip. The world responded to it. HD TV, 4K.
4K.
Intent. Deaf, like, cause your TV different than mine.
Intent deaf.
How did you read intention from that? I'm going to tell you why I root for the Clippers, and I'm going to show you why. If you're still a Mavs fan, I don't know if you really forgot.
In Dallas,
you forgot where you came from. All the way? No? Okay. I'm going to tell you why I root for the Clippers. Simple as this. My dad's from Texas. He moved to San Diego. He's a San Diego Clipper fan. Underdog mentality, as they're the LA Clippers, second team in LA, JV as they call them, little brothers, whatever you want to say. That's who I was growing up. Nobody saw me coming. Nobody saw what I was going to be. Underdog. I said, you know what, Daddy? I'm a root for what you root for. It's in my DNA, and guess what? That's my mindset. That's why I root for a team like this. But I don't understand how you root for the Dallas Mavericks when I got video of some dirty plays as well. Let's see some video from Luka Doncic and Tim Hardaway Jr. Oh, look at this right here. Watch this play right here. And you want to tell me, how can I root for a team? What is that where your feet normally, what square footage of the basketball court does it land where you kick a man in his manhood?
That's the best. Huh? That's that incidental kick.
What about that one? We got more.
That incidental kick is the best he has, ladies and gentlemen.
How about Hardaway? I know that Fox has the WWE, but we really gonna have Hardaway go out there with that? You want to defend your team?
That foul was called, correct, sir?
I don't care if you call a foul.
Correct, sir?
I'm talking about what's your intent. Since you got an intent deaf television, you should be able to tell me that. You want to retort?
My only simple retort, Marcellus, is exactly what I told you, which is what you told me first. I'm simply using your words against you, sir, which I know you hate when I do. You said that you cannot treat all players equally. You need to know better than anybody, because we got to sit here and talk about it. If nothing else, You got to protect your stars, but also you got to take the nonsense out the game. Again, I can't judge intent. I can only present information, America. I can't judge intent. I can only say that it would have taken 1 in a 22 million chance for Marcus Morris, one of the most coordinated people on the planet. Dude, you know where you're about to be when you go up for a dunk. You know you got to duck your head so you don't hit the rim. We've seen Marcus Morris toe the sideline to make sure the ball don't go out of bounds. Athletes, the most like you said, only 5,000 players in the history of the world have played in the NBA. Marcus Morris is amongst those 5,000. Elite body coordination, elite hand-eye coordination,